Yep.
Like that?
Yep. Hello and welcome to Hey, I've Got an Idea show. We're back. The Brothers Williams.
Yes.
Luke Lessashamed Williams and...
Mason Tailsteak Williams. That's me. I'm the voice over here.
Yep. And I'm the one over here.
If this is a stereo thing,
It's not. It's actually, I'm not 100% sold on this, but if it was 100% left and 100% right, why, it would sound a little something like this. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, that's why we don't do that. So what
It would be disorienting. You'd be constantly whipping your head left and right to say, who's talking over there?
What is this magical voice from either side of me?
That would be just not proper.
So instead, I've done just the slightest touch. I've actually gone 15% left for me and 15% right for you.
I didn't know you were doing that. That's cool.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it makes it better or worse, or if no one notices but me. So, whatever. However,
this week, money.
Yeah.
Money.
So if you haven't listened to our show before, first of all, where you been?
Yeah, no. Why are you starting on this episode? Go back to one.
Didn't you see Sex Toy? How is that not the one you clicked first?
Come on, man.
So we're gonna on this show we are going to talk our way through a new invention.
Sure are.
We're going to conceive of a thing.
And this week, as I said, money.
Now,
money.
it is gonna be a new currency.
Yes. So money, like dough, cabbage, cheddar, whatever you call it, one thing's for sure, we all need to eat money to live.
Well, now that you've called it cabbage and cheddar, my brain went to a food place.
Yeah, I mean, you bread, you gotta bringing home the bacon.
Okay, so a grilled cheese sandwich with cabbage is like sauerkraut. You've just made...
Yeah, no, episode over, we got it.
We
exchanged sandwiches now.
Oh my god, bringing home the bacon.
Uh-huh.
Cabbage being... do people actually call money cabbage? I'm just taking you on your word there.
Yeah, like, dude, because it's green.
All right. So, bread.
Dough, which you bake it and then it's bread.
Yeah. Cabbage can be sauerkraut. Bringing home the bacon. Get that cheese. All of that.
Cheddar. It's specifically cheddar. No one just says cheese.
We're almost describing.
Speaking of cheese.
Yes.
Luke,
yes.
This is related.
It better be, because I was gonna say we're making
So I have a question for you.
We're making a Reuben. Question for you. This is a Reuben. Some money.
What
a Reuben
do you
money.
call
money Reuben
cheese? That isn't yours.
Okay, so cheese that isn't mine.
Nacho cheese.
So you're listening to the last episode of Hey, I've Got an Idea show.
It's so great. It's the greatest joke.
This is a brother thing. He likes
it's nacho cheese.
He likes to.
It's not nacho cheese.
I guess I got a little too into that joke at one point and told it like 2 or 3 times. And now my brother tells me this joke, or a variant of this joke. Most of the time we're ever talking. So my cross to bear.
This is the first time I've said it on this show.
I'm surprised. You showed a fair bit of restraint.
Won't be the last.
Hope you liked it, folks, because more where that came from.
The nacho cheese.
So money.
Yes, money. You know what the number one problem is with money, Luke?
What's that?
Fucking filthy. People are snorting cocaine off of hookers' asses. People are just rubbing it on their asses. People are like putting it in their asses. Well, yeah. Like, I don't know what all y'all are doing with your money. Like, that's not... Put it in RRSP. Put it in a 401k. Don't put it in your butt. But people keep putting it in their butt.
Put cash in your wallet, and where does that wallet go? It just goes into
Right
your butt.
up the butt. It's not hygienic. And if you want to engage in filthy, filthy capitalism, you need to have some less filthy money. Either that or just start wearing gloves all the time, and that's not practical.
Not really. So how do we address this? How do we invent a cleaner money?
Well, a lot of people have been doing like the electronic stuff right now. Like I use debit all the time for like everything, and I mean that's been great for me. But what happens when you lose your debit card? Right, you're fucked, and you got to call your bank, and you got to cancel the card, and you got to get another card. So that's out. Like we're not gonna go that route. I want a physical currency, but I want it to be clean, antibacterial, hypoallergenic. I want convenient money.
So how are we gonna do that?
I that's not really the part of this podcast that I do. Like I say the problem, and then you do a thing.
We try to solve it just by hashing it out. Bouncing our...
That's another... Well, no, that's not a word for money.
No.
But it is a food word, and you said it.
Yeah, I mean... All right, so here's what I'm bringing to the table. Yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying.
It's filthy.
I'm hearing that what you're bringing to the table is...
It's filthy, and I hate it.
Money is primarily for asses. It's really dirty. Don't touch it.
I guess we could, like, embrace it and just exchange butt plugs, but that seems... Like, you can only have the one butt plug at a time, right? Like, you put the second one in there.
with that attitude.
Yeah. I don't know.
So...
I guess I could get a second ass installed.
No, you could just, like, DP. It's kind of...
yeah, okay.
So anyway,
just nestle them up in there side by side, sure.
So that's not related to money at all. Here's a money thing. Here's a money thing we can talk about. So I want to just list off my personal favorite things from money, past, present, and future. Okay.
Okay.
My highlight reel of the currency
Chinese
things.
Coins with the square hole in the middle so you can put them on a string.
Yes, obviously that's the past one. Why did we stop that?
Well, I mean, the toonie, when it launched for a while, the middles used to pop out.
I think that was mostly people really wanted to get them out, though.
Yeah, no, people were getting their $2 coins here in Canada, where we have these, and they were just like hitting them with hammers. And we're dumb fucking people, man. We're just I'm gonna get this new money. It's $2. I'm gonna hit it with a hammer until it breaks. Money is bad.
I had $2 and now I don't. Showed you.
The outside and the inside of the coin, those are not each $1.
So,
although, that would be so good though if it was. Like if you had like a toonie style coin, you could pop out the middle, and the middle is a $1 coin, and then you pop out the middle of that, and it's a 50-cent piece.
So I can extrapolate on that a little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
What if it was like interconnecting pieces, like almost something?
Just exchange Lego.
Yeah, if it was almost Lego-like, but somehow a little bit more sturdy and dependable.
Well, they had little clips like on a carabiner that people put on their backpacks.
And part of the funny thing about that too is that, like, it's as much I'm not like super good with economics on this particular point, but it's attributed value, right? Like the value changes, and we can try and like before we got rid of our penny, the American penny, for example, like it costs more than a penny to produce. So it's not like logical what it's made out of at all.
Right.
So why can't it be plastic?
Okay, so we're going plastic money.
Well, I mean, as far as counterfeiting is kind of concerned, it's like I'm sure there's a technological way where we could say that like they could scan the polymer and determine if it's
They're just gonna 3D print it, dude. That's what everybody's trying to do with these 3D printers now. If something's made out of plastic, you can just make it at home. For like it's gonna be weird and ridgy, but
let me be a little bit more specific though.
All right.
What if it was made out of plastic?
Okay.
And for it to be legit money, it has to form a certain shape, a certain like we all agree that it's going to be this kind of money. It's going to have this kind of interlocking mechanism behind it. And in case people are worried that it's counterfeit, you could potentially scan for the composition of it. But even better, I say, what if it was what if we encouraged the home printing of money?
We encouraged counterfeiting. Everybody print their own money.
Because it encouraged people to recycle.
Okay.
So if you could actually balance that out.
So I recycle my old plastic bottle, I throw it into my 3D printer, it melts it down and turns it into a new thing because that's totally how 3D printers work. And I can literally use it to make money that I can go use to buy more soda pop.
Yeah, why not?
There are so many reasons why not.
Okay, we'll name some because like here's the fun.
Have you ever heard, sir, of inflation?
Sure.
Plastic things inflate.
You talking about like a balloon? Because that's
Yes.
Okay. Let's go. Let's pull it back. Let's go back a little bit here.
Okay.
Explain, because I'm actually like legitimately trying to process this here. What part of inflation is impossible with a system like that, where you would potentially cut out, like when we donate bottles and we get money back?
Yeah.
That is obviously because there's so much processing and such involved. If there was just essentially a machine in our house that was not unlike a laundry machine, and it became sort of standard, where it's like, oh, here's where I can dump my plastics, and it literally turned it back into plastic for money. How does that harm the inflation? How does that harm the inflation thing? Like
I am having a concept now. Like the whole issue with inflation is the government can't make too much money, because if there's too much money in the system, then the money becomes worth less money, and that's why counterfeiting is bad. Is because in making all the money, it's bad. You have too much money in the system, and it's worth less. What if instead of running a mint, the government like had a reverse mint where they would literally get rid of money? Like they would just take money and they would just melt it right back on down. Your tax dollars literally disappearing all the time. And that would keep the economy stable.
I'm pretty sure you're doing a little goof here.
Look, which one of us went to business school and earned a degree in economizing?
If you couldn't tell from the construction of that sentence, folks, it was neither of us. So okay. That was. I want to just go back to my highlight reel. That was the past. Was the hole in the center coins, which we could maybe do something like that. But the present thing I'm really into is
smelling like maple syrup.
Pretty much that was where I was going. Yeah, that our money has gone the way of the I believe Australia and Mexico did it first, and then we picked it up too. Where it's a
Why would Australia and Mexico make their money smell like maple syrup?
They made it out of like plasticky material. It doesn't rip or tear. It doesn't get wet and ruined. It is all good.
Now you can burn it.
You can burn it, and I think if it goes like if you freeze it and then break it, then that breaks it. But
you can shoot it with a gun.
Yeah, you can still destroy money if you try.
You can feed it to pigs.
But don't.
Don't.
Here's a pro
it's
money.
Funny. What's wrong with
Here's
you?
a pro money saving tip from your financial experts, Mason and Luke, the brothers Williams.
That's us.
Don't feed your money to pigs.
Don't literally destroy your physical money. Yeah.
I feel like maybe if we gave better financial advice, we could be more like, I don't know, like the Property Brothers. They're doing a little bit better than we are, I think.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you define success.
Fair.
I mean, in terms of being good looking, yes, they are better looking than us. In terms of building houses, yes, they are better at that than us.
Yes, they are.
In terms of having a television show, are they better than us?
Ooh,
yes.
A couple of times over.
But I ask you, the Property Brothers, if you were to give them identical, like, hairstyles and beard styles and dress them in the same clothing, you can't tell those fuckers apart.
They are.
You can only tell them apart because they're like Country Mouse and City Mouse. But if, like, they decided to pull a sister and, like, switcheroo, and one guy grew his beard out ever so slightly and the other shaved, and they swapped clothing, you would absolutely not know the difference.
Oh, now I'm going to wear the plaid, and I'm going to pick up the sledgehammer, and you're going to negotiate with...
They would fuck each other's thing over so bad.
Suddenly they're like the, foreclosed Property Brothers.
And I think we're doing better in that sense, in that, like, even if I were to grow out a beard and draw, like, video game bullshit on my arm, I don't think anyone would mistake me for you, and vice versa.
Yep, we are much more individually unique than the Property Brothers.
And that's why we're better than them.
That is absolutely why we're better than them. The end. Good podcasting.
Thank you for tuning in to Hey, I've Got an Idea show, higaishow.com. It's money, baby.
So money.
So this podcast has been brought to you by Squarespace.
Speaking of money.
Yeah, no, gotta get paid for this endorsement that I'm doing. Squarespace, if you need to set aside money for your retirement, Squarespace will help you with that. Just head on over to Squarespace/RRX. No, it's, what is it? I'm making this up as I go. RRSPHIGAI show, and they will give you $10,000 in a retirement fund. The catch is that you can only get the money after 200 years. So I hope you're going to live that long. Squarespace.
So
it's your money. Retire when you want in 200 years.
So
that's a real thing.
Did you catch wind of the fact that guys could get a head transplant
from Squarespace?
Yeah. Well, obviously, no one else does anything.
They're the only company.
It's like Acme.
Okay, that's great. Is he going to spend a lot of money on it, trying to get back to the
I think
ostensible subject of the podcast?
it's I want to, but it's also really super friggin' interesting. It's gonna cost something like 1.6 like $billion, and it's maybe it was a million. Slight
No,
difference,
I'd go with billion.
give or take. It's the surgery is gonna take 36 hours, and it is an exactly like ridiculously ideal scenario for it to happen at all. It's like a guy that has a terminal condition, but his head isn't fully intact. His brain cognitive functions fully intact. It's like his body that sucks. And then there's another person that matches who is brain dead, and it's gonna
Like it's a perfect match.
close enough, I guess.
Holy shit! Is it the Property Brothers?
Yes, and then no one knew that it happened.
Except that now the one guy is running back and forth and doing like quick change shit in between.
And then the Freaky Friday scenario happens, and they switch back, and they go, "Aw, we just switched."
Well, yeah, Freaky Friday's into a fucking corpse. What the hell are you talking about? The other guy would be dead in this scenario. He's a pile of medical waste.
So speaking of a brave,
Speaking of
brave
money,
future,
the thing
this is the most
we're doing.
derailed we've been. Holy shit. So I'm sorry, it is super interesting, but okay, anyway.
I love that you brought it up. Yeah,
You're welcome.
That's super great. Okay, so money is bad, and
Don't
embrace socialism.
don't own it.
Yes.
Don't.
Well, I guess I shouldn't say socialism. Socialism still requires.
I don't know if you caught from last week, but just let us help you with that. Just give it on up.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, we'll take it off your hands.
Convert to bestism.
We will. You know what? Give us your money, and it doesn't matter if it's an electronic transfer. We will take electronic transfers. We will take dollars. We will take Bitcoin. I won't. I hate Bitcoin, but I'm sure Luke will set something up. And
Wait, what?
We'll take it away from you.
So the future thing I was gonna say.
I hate Bitcoin so much.
You don't have to like Bitcoin.
It's a bad thing.
No one is making you like Bitcoin. This episode
Future thing.
happened to be sponsored by Bitcoin as well, and that really sucks that you chose now to say that.
I thought it was sponsored by Squarespace.
It's because Bitcoin is owned by Squarespace.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, brother dear.
Yes.
The thing I was gonna say for the future highlight reel of money,
Please, yes.
is I was gonna say how cool it is to talk about Star Trek credits.
Creds.
Yeah, except that I don't know how it's different from like debit money. I mean, we have chips and stripes on our cards, and we have that. But how? Like, maybe you remember better than I do. How do they do the transfers and stuff on the Star Trek time?
People just work for the joy of serving the Federation.
No, but they have. Okay, that is true. But then they also
like Ferengis have gold pressed latinum.
Right. But I was referring specifically to the Federation and their credits, and how I guess they got like a ration for their duty, right?
Yeah.
So it's just because they're all sort of in one big ol' military-esque. I mean, it is okay. Is it ever called the military? Because they don't fight as much as form.
Yeah, it is kind of a monolithic military, single government. Like, I don't think it's ever been established what the ruler of the Federation is. If the ruler of the Federation also controls Earth, or is it like the president of the world? There could be a king in Star Trek. I literally would not know, but I'm sure there's going to be like 1,000 angry Star Trek nerds who will correct me, because I've only ever watched the show. I haven't like really consumed the extracurricular activities. So perhaps people who like read all the novels are like, well, no, actually, they have this kind of government, and it's not a.
The extracurricular meaning the after school club, the Star Trek club.
I choose to believe they have a king. I choose to believe the Federation has a hereditary monarchy.
Well, but then the best part about him would be that Q would just fuck with him, and like the king would turn around and Q would be sitting in the throne and.
Like, give me back my crown! I need that to command the starships.
Yes, that's what King Federation sounds like. No! My ships!
Henceforth I decree the captains shall no longer wear the gold, but rather the red. It would amuse me.
So let's actually get back
also,
to...
fuck up the Klingons' foreheads. Just bash them in real good.
Just mush them a bit.
Get them all wrinkly and fucked up.
Mush them up.
So decrees your king.
So, currency meaning
Yes.
physical money.
Physical money.
We sort of talked about, like, it ventured into, like, economics and like, economic theory. And how, like, I mean, every time it seems like you're talking about a forward-thinking, better system, it leans towards things more social and less capitalism. And, what's wrong with that is that capitalism is the one that's, like, all about the money, right?
Well, I mean, people get that wrong, right? Because a lot of people just be like, oh, you're exchanging money for goods or services. That's capitalism. It's like, no, that's just commerce. Like, capitalism is a specific system that requires, like, investment in the markets. And, like, that's not actually a universal thing.
So, how do we make it better?
Well, okay. You know how we were talking about plastic money and like how the Canadian, like the $100 bill, smells like maple syrup a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and you were going to mention like, oh, they also have that in Mexico and Australia, and I was like, what? Theirs smells like maple syrup? That's impossible.
Right.
But now I'm thinking about it, and like, what would Australian money smell like? Would it smell like what's a distinctive national thing that they have that their money could smell like?
I think we maybe picked one that's like too hard to invent.
No,
because
we got this.
It's like, all right, back on topic. Here we go. Nose to the grindstone. We are just gonna. Is that?
No, I mean, we got the thing, right? It's plastic. It's this little plastic form, and they clip together like Legos, and they got the little carabiner on the end, so you can stick it to your backpack, and you make it at home, and then the government melts it down for some reason.
Well, I mean, we could get back to that. I just find it amusing.
And it smells like your country's national dish.
There we go. So that's how they do it. They smelt it with...
Whoever smelt it, dealt it.
Yes, thank you.
I just had to...
They melt it down. I'm taking out the S so you can't make the joke. They melt it down with...
Whoever melted it, whoever molten it, dolten it.
Like a bird?
Yes.
So they just throw in the dish that is most popular, and that's why ours is maple syrup, because we just drink maple syrup.
Well, yeah, I mean, what do you think I'm drinking right now?
There is actually just a maple beverage that's rising in popularity. It's called sapsucker.
I'm not kidding. I would get down on that.
It's all right. It's kind of.
Can you mix it with like booze?
It's mostly offered as like a water alternative, and they try to cite it as though it has health benefits because it's like...
Does it have like electrolytes and shit?
No. It's just... I swear that like you could take a bottle of sapsucker, which supposedly has some stuff straight from the tree, and you could have a bottle of like someone put a couple drops of Aunt Jemima in and shook it, and you wouldn't be able to tell. So
Well, like Mrs. Butterworth maybe, but like Aunt Jemima, she makes the pancake mix, so that's actually not gonna be so good.
I challenge. That's no. I'm sure Aunt Jemima makes the syrup too.
Are Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben married?
That's racist.
Fair enough.
There is absolutely Aunt Jemima syrup. And oh my god, do I regret looking this up?
What is it? A lot of nudity?
That I wish.
Aunt Jemima just slowly pouring the syrup over herself.
No, it is just wow.
Is she pouring the syrup over Uncle Ben? They're not married. That's a sin against God.
No, you know what's amazing about looking up Aunt Jemima? Here's some homework for the listeners out there. Go ahead, look up Aunt Jemima. The Google image wall is just uncomfortable. It is.
Well, now I gotta go look.
Give it a go.
I must make myself uncomfortable.
Give it a go.
Okay, new tab, and
get ready.
Jemima, and images. Huh. She she used to look a whole lot more like.
Yep.
Huh. Okay. Good stuff.
You
know what? I'm willing to bet Uncle Ben's probably the same kind of thing.
Yeah. So
although I know if I look that up, I'm just gonna find like Spider-Man shit. So
I know we've been trying desperately to derail this topic.
We nailed it right out of the gate.
Did that? How like are we? Okay, no, we're not done. We're not done.
No.
Okay. So you have different Lego pieces that you clip to your carabiner. This is like a child's solution to what is new money, and they look around with their toys and like, it could be Lego. Okay, yeah, let's pretend Lego is money. Like, this is not our best work.
Well, what about candy?
Perhaps.
What about like taking naps? If taking naps could be money.
Man, if taking naps could be money,
I'd be a fucking billionaire.
Oh.
Kidding?
Especially if I got into that Stallone.
Yeah, that's just a money machine, man. You get that Sylvester Stallone cramming his hand in your mouth, and you're just sliding around in the lube and just raking in the bucks, which you would then somehow exchange, and you would give it to other people for goods or services, such as having Sylvester Stallone stick his hand in your mouth.
Let's actually hang on. Let's actually point to something a little bit apropos here. Poker chips. They're kind of already plastic money that's in set denominations.
This is true.
Did we just think of like pretending Lego is poker chips? I mean, it's more functional because it can connect and stuff, but
I would totally play Lego, like poker with Lego as poker chips. That would be convenient. Just have like a stack.
Of course,
like
me too.
Colors and different denominations.
And then the extra fun part about that is that you can like fashion yourself clothing out of your money, basically. It's be uncomfortable as hell.
Well, I mean, then any poker becomes strip poker because I'm just taking the shirt right off your back because you made your shirt out of Lego.
That actually reminds me of something I was going to bring up. Clothing as money. Sure. So we like our fashion and our materials and our different kinds of options for clothing.
Do we?
We do, more or less.
Okay.
What if there was just a one-to-one clothing to money thing?
so like right now I am wearing a shirt, underwear, pants, 2 socks, so I have $5. And if I wanna buy something, I gotta give up my shirt, and then it's no shirt, no shoes, no service. I gotta leave. But then if I want to have more money, I have to be wearing all of my clothes all the time. So if I have $1,000, I will be crushed and I'll be dead.
Well, I mean, yeah, don't do that. But
But
that's not actually what I was thinking. I was thinking more that, like, if you could take those materials and then weave them, like valuable materials, and then weave them into. I guess I'm just talking about jewelry.
you have invented jewelry. Yeah, I believe that's actually what jewelry does. It's like when the chips are down, you just like take off an earring and be like, "Take me to Davy Jones' locker for this."
Yeah. Yeah, that's just jewelry.
But what jewelry doesn't have is
But
that
jewelry.
it's not made out of plastic and it doesn't smell like maple syrup.
Yeah. So let's see if we can solve a different problem. Because, I mean, we pretty much nailed it and it's done. So, like, let's just see if we can solve one other problem.
Okay.
How do we make it a global currency?
Ooh.
Is the Lego...
Well, I mean, like anyone who has a 3D printer can make this stuff, right? Like it's going to be valid no matter where you print it.
True.
So all we need to do is disseminate the plans for the 3D printer, and then anyone with a 3D printer can print a 3D printer, and then they'll have a 3D printer. Then they'll have money.
I don't know. You know what's weird about this is that, like, this is where the things of ideas and of concepts are, like, really kind of fascinating. Because, like, you remember how when you first watch Star Trek in the 90s and even before that, and you hear them say, like, computer Earl Grey hot, they
Earl Grey hot and make it out of maple flavored plastic.
And it's exciting because you see that not only can the replicator actually make that in front of you out of materials, but also that the computer just talks with you. It's like, oh, you want this thing? Yeah, cool. But we're already like halfway there because Siri can like listen to you and respond, and other voice activated commands can do that. And then like 3D printing is like kind of almost that. And it's like, how much of this shit that we're talking about right now is like could legitimately form a future system, and how much
Photon
is
torpedoes,
garbage? Because like we need solutions. What?
Holodecks.
Yeah, they're cool too. But like we need like big global solutions for our shit right now, right? And like waste being a big one. If anything can kill two birds with one stone, get rid of waste and help you with money, like that's smart, right?
It's the smartest. So you heard it here, folks. Be like Star Trek. Melt down your bottles into money. It's legal. And just make sure it smells like maple syrup.
I just want to point out that this was your suggestion for this week.
Well, in my defense, I thought that this would be funnier.
Nope. We didn't do currency very well.
Speak for yourself.
But maybe you could do better. Give us a little pitch about your idea. You can do that on Twitter even.
Make 3D models. Print them out. Show us what your coins look like.
Sure. I'm not going to turn that down. That's at HIGAI show. And also the website is HIGAEIEIO.
Check us out on Ello.
I've actually never heard of Ello.
What? It's only the best up-and-coming social media platform. Ello, E-L-L-O.
I've heard of Zello. I use Zello for, like, walkie-talkie app. It's good. And I've heard of...
Have you heard of a cello?
I have. I've eaten Jello.
Hey, what do you call Jello that isn't yours?
So that'll do it for this week.
No. What do you call Jello that isn't yours? Nacho Jello.
So for next week,
Nacho Jello.
for next week, it's my turn. I'm gonna pick something. I'm gonna pick something good.
Nacho Jello.
I guess no. Everybody heard. I'm sure they're in stitches. You got them.
Got him.
So for next week,
Nacho Jello.
Mason, you and I shall design
Yes. What?
something new.
Thing. Yes. Say it down. Say it.
We are going to design a new hero.
Like a superhero?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet.
I figured that's
Fertile ground.
I figured that. Sorry, what was that?
I said it's fertile ground.
Fertile ground. I think so.
Mhm.
I think so.
Yes.
So be sure to
Nacho Jello. It's funny. It's a joke.
I already edited the podcast there.
Damn it.
Yep.
Okay. Bob.
Yep.
Okay. Bob.
Yep.
Okay. Bob.
Yep.
Okay. Like that.
Yep.